I was gonna save this video for the 6th, but I just figured, what the hell, and might as well just get it out of the way. It's gonna be the final review for the Boots Hot Weather. We've already done the historical segments on it, but if you do need just some enlightenment of what the Boots Hot Weather are, they're just an old Vietnam era, or they retain the pattern of the Vietnam era jungle boot, and are really only in a desert tan color wave. First being produced in the 1990s, went through 3 generations of these Type 1 hot weather boots. The first ones had a nylon collar and a much more coarse and lighter colored rough out leather. The Panama sole that they had was made of a rubber compound that turns brown with dirt and wear. In the second generation, when they came out, they introduced a padded collar, and they also had a leather strap. They fixed the issues with the sole by introducing a new rubber compound that didn't turn brown with use. The third generation came out sometime in the late 90s, possibly in 1998, and stayed in production to 2003. These ones introduced or brought back the nylon ankle reinforcement, and that's pretty much it. They were used in Operations Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom. They'd mainly be still issued whatever stock they had. They'd still be issued to U.S. Army troops even after the introduction of the Army combat uniform in universal camouflage pattern, until they were replaced by the Type 2 hot weather combat boots. Got this pair back in November from Hero Surplus out of Ottawa, Canada, I think it was, or it may have been Ontario. It probably was Ontario. They're Welco, they're size 8 regular. The length of the boot is alright. However, with them being a regular, and this may have been something I may not have been catching on, my feet may have gotten wider. I have no idea. But the right boot, I've always had issues with the right boot, where there's always just a pinch point right along this border right here. Always have a pinch point, and it would just be crushing my instep. I let him break in as long as I could bear until eventually I just soaked him in hot water and stuffed a Coke can right in the boot and just let that dry out. And eventually these boots were slightly more bearable to wear. I had also pulled out the original insoles that they had. I replaced them with odor eater insoles, and they were okay for what I use them for. They were okay just for day-to-day use. Took them hunting probably only twice. In the later months of the time that I have been using them, I noticed the uppers would get slightly, just a little bit loose, so I'd have to pull them tighter just to keep tension, in which then that started cutting off blood flow. I started getting tingling sensations from my shin down to my feet. And then final nail in the coffin was went for a run outside in these boots, and we were running on a pavement. It was a 200-yard dash, I think it was, in a conditioning class. 200-yard dash, and these left me feeling crippled. After that, I felt a lot of feedback in my knees, and after that, they pretty much just got sidelined, and the Belleville C790 ST has taken over. So these hot weather boots, I'm just done with them. Not even gonna try with these Type 1 with the Panama sole. I can't find an 8.5 regular. I originally got these just as a replacement for the Type 2 hot weathers, which are 9 wide, and those were too big. I think I'm gonna go back to the 9 wides. I found a few pairs online for 8.5 reg, so I think I'm gonna get those. I had also bought a pair of Belleville C390 hot weather boots, and they should be shipping, I don't know, sometime soon, hopefully. Still haven't gotten a tracking number, but these, pretty much done with them. I think I'm still gonna keep them around, because with all things I like to do with the military boots that I have, I'd at least like to collect uniforms, so I can piece boots with the uniforms and the kits, and even like rifles and whatnot. Have my own military collection. So these, they're gonna stay with me, because I had also ruined my selective service number in these boots, which is kind of dumb, and I don't want anyone catching that and matching that back to my social security. So these are gonna stay with me. Other than that, this is a 9-month review. A 9-month review overall. I wouldn't recommend, unless you can find your exact size and you can put comfortable insoles that aren't super thin And other than that,